Okay, I'm Tony Morsini. I'm Chief Payments and Product Officer here at Bushel. A year ago, if you guys remember, if you were here last year, a year ago we laid out, let's see, here we go. A year ago, with this eye chart on the right, we laid out the vision and the roadmap of what we call Bushel Pay, right? Bushel Pay is our family of embedded finance products and tools and services for the agriculture industry. And a lot of things on that weren't even started or done. And I'm very excited to say that as of today, everything on that list is done and in production or ready for pilot. So I think I'd like to give a big round of applause to all the people who worked on this, because there's a lot of people and we built a ton of software. So a round of applause for everyone. I also have two pretty, actually there's two exciting product announcements today. One of them Greg already talked about, which was for the Bushel debit card. The Bushel Gold Visa debit card will soon be offering 1% cash back. And that will be for life if you get the card by the end of 2026. So if you get the debit card and it gets activated by the end of the year, you will get 1% cash back at least for as long as I'm alive. So that hopefully is a pretty long time, I hope. And the other exciting announcement we're gonna do here in a second, Nathan Jornstad is gonna come out and help us with that one. Back to that chart there. On the left is what we have referred to as the wallet, the Bushel business account, the cash management solutions. It's the bank account for the American farmer. So Greg already covered that today, so I'm not going to cover that. So what I'm going to focus on is all of the payments infrastructure that has been built over the past year and is now available to our agribusiness customers. When we spoke a year ago, of those four things, only one thing was actually built and in production. And now there are these four things, so we're going to go into them. So first thing we're going to talk about is embedded payments. And if you're a agribusiness portal customer, you can embed payments into your farmer-facing UI, and we can pay a variety of items for you. Now, one of the things I want to focus on, if you look at the title, it says Embedded Payments, Bringing Liquidity to the Agribusiness. This is our whole reason for doing this, right? Our whole reason for doing this is bringing you money, right? And making it as flexible as possible for the farmer, so the farmer can pay in a variety of means. So this is why we do really all of this, is to help you guys with your DSO, with your cash flow, and the items that are payable are things you can see on the screen: invoices, statements, the current balance, one-time payments. So we offer payments on a variety of things other than invoices. And the real interesting thing is that we support now 4 different funding sources. So there's that Bushel business account that Greg talked about. Okay, one of the reasons that we pay such a high interest rate on it, like we could keep that money, but we give it to the farmer. So why are we doing that? To encourage them to get the product, so it's the best bank account they can get. And how does that help you? That helps you because then they have funds available to pay you with. And when the payments are done with the Bushel business account, guess what? It's real time. So it's as fast as the money could possibly be to get to you, which is the whole point in all of this payments infrastructure. Now, if they don't want to pay with the Bushel business account, they can also pay with any other bank account in the United States. Basically, I mean, I think there's 3,000 bank accounts that can be linked. So that's the external bank accounts. What's new is we offer credit card acceptance as well. Okay, and this was something when I started the company, Jake had said to me, man, I've been asked about this credit card thing for years. Could we do it? And so we stood up an acquiring endpoint. And ag is often not the highest margin business in the world. So there's sensitivity to the fees associated with the card. So what we built, and like everything, how we have to kind of twist these things and tailor them for agriculture, we created a flexible surcharging mechanism on this. And so you can, as the merchant in the transaction, you can absorb the 3% fee. You can do what's called surcharging and pass it on to the customer. But if you pass it on to the customer, you're not going to get a lot of adoption, right? Because the people, they want their rewards and they want their float, but they don't want to pay for it. But we created a flexible solution for this, such that you can designate a number of days that if the payment is made within that number of days after the invoice is generated, there is no surcharge. So that incentivize the grower to pay you early. So for example, you could say 7 days. If you pay my invoice within 7 days, there's no surcharge. If you pay it 8 days or longer, there is a surcharge. So that works today. We have customers utilizing that. And then we also have, I also want to talk about Lender Connect, which we're really excited about. Lender Connect allows us to pay an invoice with an integrated line of credit. So I'm going to get rolling here because I want to make sure we have time, full 10 minutes for Jorny. Okay, Lender Connect is live and in production. We launched with our first lender, CFA, a few months ago, and it's focused on input financing. Next up, by the end of this month, we'll have lines of credit live with Ag Texas and Capital Farm Credit. We support multiple loan types, input financing, lines of credit, and term loans. And what this means is, again, I'm trying to bring liquidity, trying to bring money to the agribusiness. That's what we're doing. And so what this means is, if you're an agribusiness portal customer, the farmer can pay with one of these loans and pay your invoice seamlessly, just like the money's coming from a third-party bank account or just like it's coming from the Bushel business account. It's completely seamless. We have a mechanism that we've developed called Lender Connect, which integrates all these different loan types. So when we talk about the bank account for the American farmer, it's not just that we're paying them great and we give them high FDIC insurance. It's they're going to be able to see all of their loans in there too, from one bank account, and have access to all these different loans and pay those loans down or draw on them or spend them at one of our customers. So that's the vision of Lender Connect, and it's all happening, and we're very proud of it. Finally, before I ask Jorny to come out, we are going to also tie, I think this will be out by the end of the summer, we're going to tie these lines of credit to our Visa debit card that we have on the Bushel business account. So what that will allow the farmer to do is they go to Tractor Supply and they want to buy something for $5,000, they'll be able to hit that line of credit. That's great for the farmer. That's great for the person selling to the farmer because they have access to a liquidity source with a much lower interest rate than a traditional credit card, all through the Visa rails. Okay, so our big announcement, and I want to bring out Nathan Jornstedt. Nathan wears many hats. He's a product manager, he's a sales engineer, he's a father of 5, and he's America's greatest apple farmer, all in one person. And we're going to talk about liens. The lien solution is something that we heard for years at Bushel as this was the biggest impediment to adopting direct deposit, right? Was like, hey, you got to solve for liens. So we solve this by creating an intermediary that is Bushel that will stand in the middle of the lien process for you and be an easy button. So if you've ever bought or sold a house, you don't send the money when you buy the house to the house seller. You send it to the title company. Why do you do that? Because the title company has to make sure that the county's been paid off, and they have to make sure that the first lien is paid off on the first mortgage, and they have to make sure the realtors get paid. That's their whole function. We're doing that for grain settlements, right? And we are going to ensure both the lender and the farmer are paid, and we're going to document it, and we're going to indemnify the grain elevator from any missed liens. And we're targeting at doing this based on our research of what this costs you guys to do. We're targeting that we're going to do this for 1/3 of the cost. So it's going to be cheaper, it's going to be safer because you're going to be indemnified, and it's going to hopefully save you a lot of money. Okay, so to do this, we built the first ever multi-state national lien lookup system to support both central filing and non-central filing states. Nathan is the product manager for this. And I'm gonna shut up and let him go from here. And look, I made it within 26 seconds.
We got time.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're calling this solution is the lien protection program. Who here likes going into their ancient state website, downloading a spreadsheet and searching that spreadsheet every time they're making a payment to a farmer? Anybody? I don't see any hands. How about getting a direct notice and you got to go through pages and pages and say, okay, do I do business with any of these people on this list? Nobody? How about getting phone calls from your farmer saying, hey, are you going to pay me or what? I asked for payment like a month ago. And they said, well, I mean, we mailed that 3 weeks ago. You haven't got it yet? So those are the problems that we're going to try to solve. So on the lien side, today, every agribusiness has to consider liens when they're purchasing grain. And nobody likes doing it. It's costly, it's inefficient, and it requires a check to be sent because there's no way to pay this electronically today. The farmer doesn't like it either because the post office is unreliable. It requires then driving around for signature once they actually get the check, and they're not able to get paid electronically. They have to take a break out of their day, either go pick up the check or get the check and then go drive around and get signature. And the worst part is if the agribusiness gets it wrong, they're on the hook and the lien holder could come after them for the full amount if they miss a lien. So we feel Bushel is uniquely positioned to provide the industry with the solve. And so we're excited to be bringing that, talking a little bit about that today. So how are we going to do that? We kind of talked about it a little bit, but this is how we're automating settlement payments. Step one, the agribusiness initiates an ACH transaction and the funds to a tethered, provided tethered account. So we provide them with a tethered account, which then is basically telling Bushel, here's money, and this is who they want to pay. Step two, we do the lien search, and we provide indemnification in that process if we get it wrong. And then step three, we distribute the funds to the appropriate parties. We make phone calls to the lien holders, we get documentation and e-signatures to do the transaction, either to give a portion to the lien holder or all of it to the farmer, and then everyone's happy, everyone gets paid electronically, and the farmer can continue sitting in the combine and get paid right there. So we're going to pull up a demo here of, we're going to spend a little time just talking about our internal systems that we've built. So we've developed these in order to make it so that we can have a very efficient process in running our lien protection program. So let's pull up the video here. So first we're going to start by showing you our lien search tool. So this system was built in order to ingest information from every state that has a central filing system, as well as to allow for agribusinesses to send us any direct notices that they receive. So as you can see here, we've pulled in all the most recent data that we can from all the different states. And then, so you see, Colorado, Idaho, Louisiana, et cetera. And you see the list of liens, what's the most recent date that we've imported the data. Every state's different, and every website's better or worse, depending on the state you're working with. Then we have a map here that shows what states are central filing and what do we have data for, and the gray shows the states that are direct notice, where the agribusiness would have to send us those notices. You can see North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and the number of liens for each of those states. So as you can see, we're set up to ingest all the information from all these states, as well as the direct notices that our agribusinesses receive. And the purpose of that is for the lien search. So I'm going to do a search here. I'm going to pull up myself. I'm going to do a search for Nathan Jornstead here. Let's see here. Well, I should say, when the customer enrolls in direct deposit, we collect all their personal and business information, and so when we do this search, we know that it's going to be correct. So you can see here, Nathan Jornstead comes up. I didn't know I had a lien, so who is the secured party? Oh, the Jornstead Bank. Okay, yeah, so Jake's messing with me. Okay, and then you can see that it's on my corn and soybeans in Cass County. You can see that this is in the system because we received it via direct notice from Farmers Co. Well, the next thing you see is that the probability is only 81%. So why is that a little low? Well, because we also take in address information as well. So if I add a city-state zip here, you should see the match probability increase pretty good. So 90%, not bad, but why isn't it 100%? Well, I didn't include the full address. So I'm going to type in the address here, and I'm going to actually not type it in exactly as is listed in our lien search. I'm actually going to have a little bit of a, so I put an N instead of north and STE instead of suite, and you can see it's now 100% match probability. So we've built this tool to be robust and dynamic so that, if we fat finger something, or let's say that the state database has data a little bit inaccurate, or the business name is a little off, we'll catch that in our search. And all of these searches are also auditable. So we have an audit ID for each of these searches. So if we ever get into a situation where we need to go back and review, or to ensure that we are following our processes, or to go back and tell the lien holder that, hey, your data just was not in the state system at the time of the transaction. Sorry, we'll include you on the next transaction. Now this is the core to ensuring that all of our lien searches are thorough. But what's great about our lien protection program is, we've kind of built this cool tool, but if we get it wrong, you're still indemnified. So that's an exciting piece of this. I'm going to show you one more tool here, and that is also another internal tool. It's how we do the funds distribution. So this is going to be a tool that our compliance team uses in order to process these transactions. So if you want to pull up that video. So in order for transactions to show up here, this is where the agribusiness has done an ACH and funds have landed in these tethered accounts. So you can see here we have 4 transactions that need us to do this lien search and indemnification process and the funds distribution. So the first 2 here came in this morning, one Farmers Co. paying me and Grain Co. paying Jake. And so if we click on one of these, we're going to then be able to decision on that. So let's look at that Jake transaction. And you can see some other additional information about the transaction, but you can also see that we've pulled in the lien search results from our lien search tool. So now we're going to review the information for their Bushel business account, review the lien search, and if there's a valid lien, we'll select that, as you can see here. And now that secured party is a party to this transaction. At that point, we then call the lien holder and we ask them, okay, Jake Jorgensen is getting paid, we see you have a lien. Do you want a share of that transaction? If they say, nope, we're good, we send them a DocuSign, they sign it, and then you have the green button there on the bottom right, release to Bushel business account. That allows us to move the funds instantly to the farmer once we have authorization to do so, or if they don't have a lien. Next, we can split the funds. So if the lien holder wants a portion of the transaction, we just hit split funds, and we type in how much the lien holder is going to get, in this case $10,000. Then you can see that the remainder, we put in the routing and account number for the lien holder. You can see the remainder is going to go to Jake's Bushel business account. And let's say that we don't have ACH information from the lien holder, they want us to mail a check. We can do that. We can just mail a check like that. Or we can hold the funds in the event that we don't know how they want us to pay them yet, but we want to get the funds to the farmer because we've gotten the DocuSigns. So we can send the funds out that way. Lastly, if we can't get resolution between the parties or we can't get a hold of the lien holder, we'll issue a multi-party check. So I'll hit issue check. You can see we got 2 parties on the transaction here. We're going to mail it to the farmer's address. And then we also have a few options for how quickly we send the check. In terms of delivery, as well as tracking information, so FedEx overnight, et cetera. All of those come for a different cost. And then we can submit the check to be printed and mailed for them to fight it out in person, like they do today. So as you can see, we have a full suite to view the transactions coming in, determining lien holders, and distributing the funds appropriately. And over time, we're going to continue to automate this process more and more. We're excited to announce that this summer we're going to be going live with our first pilot customers with a full rollout later this fall with additional customers that want to take part. So for the first time in history, agribusinesses can offload this cumbersome process with the solution that provides the agribusiness, the farmer, and the lien holders with a clean and efficient process for transacting. And I predict in a short time, we're going to see our first checkless grain buyers. So if you want to hear more about this, I'm happy to chat after the conference. Thanks for listening. We'll hopefully we'll continue to innovate here at Bushel and address the problem of liens for the industry. Thanks, everyone.